What is up? We're back.
We're back.
Me and David, we get to talking and forget. The last video, it just cut out. The battery died. So yeah, we talked about Slipknot a lot. But this one is one I've been wanting to talk to you guys and everybody for a minute now. Yeah, a week, but waited a long time for it.
12 years.
And me, all right. There's a bit of controversy going on. There's a lot of controversy revolving around this album, and one of them is the fact that, all right, when they announced it was coming out August 30th,
Right.
I kept waiting for that pre-order because I was like, what's it gonna be like? Tool's always had cool, wild packaging with their CDs and stuff, and I was like, what's it gonna be like? And then it was like, finally, like mid-August almost, they finally announced the pre-orders. I hit that shit up quick because when I read what it was, when I read that, okay, it was gonna be the CD with a fucking rechargeable HD video screen with speakers, I was like, all right, you guys have outdone yourself packaging-wise this time.
How much was it?
It started out at $45, all right, on Amazon. But if you pre-order anything on Amazon, they call it the pre-order guarantee, whatever, where because prices always fluctuate on Amazon. If it goes anything below where you initially pre-ordered it at, you get it for that price. So it went down to $35.
There you go. So
I got it cheaper than probably a lot of people did.
Especially now.
Oh, especially now. I hit up that pre-order day one because I was like, this shit's gonna sell out. That's just too cool to think. And then they mentioned limited release, you know.
Right.
So obviously there's not gonna be that many.
And it's Tool.
Within the end of that week that they announced the pre-order, because I did it within an hour after the announcement. I hit that pre-order. But by the end of that week, when they announced that pre-order, that shit was sold out on Amazon. But you could still pre-order it at places like Target and Walmart. Walmart had pre-orders. But then boom, all of a sudden they're sold out. Well, it finally came out, and I just got to show you guys this. Have you seen it?
I saw the video.
Oh, so you saw my little video of this? Let me show you guys this really quick. This is so fucking cool, all right? I'm only going to show a second. But yeah, the cover's kind of whatever. But it's also got a magnet that keeps it closed, which I really dig, because if you'll notice up there, there's a lot of book-style CD cases, but they don't, you know, have anything to hold them closed. Well, you open this motherfucker, and like, instantly it turns on and starts playing some shit. Got some volume buttons.
Birthday cards with the music.
Right, yes, exactly. It's just like that. It's just like that. But it's so fucking cool. It's so trippy. And I was expecting, you know, a minute, maybe 2 minutes of stuff. But
how long is it?
It's actually almost 7 fucking minutes.
Yeah. It starts over?
Yeah, it will loop twice and then take like a minute or two, like chill out, and then loop again.
When I heard about it, I thought it was going to be like they put like a music video to one of their songs.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You know, I had no idea it was going to be like just trippy ass visuals with mood music.
It's their fucking, well, see what it is to me, every Tool album, like you said, has always had like some of the best visual aids in their albums.
Love the 3D glasses with 10,000 Days.
And you get art for, like, I think Lateralis had a whole shitload of
the
stuff.
cool overlays and all that.
And the hologram one was on
Enema. With the hologram, you could choose your own
they've
cover.
always had something
cool,
different from all the other people, like all these other boring ass album covers and shit.
Because even Undertow did that. You had the hidden cow licking its own ass behind the tray, and then you hold the, you got that big fat naked lady in there. You hold it up to the light, and you can see her through the rib cage on the front of the cover. Really cool shit like that. Really cool shit like that. So this right here, I was like, that's amazing. And I was actually thinking,
no one's ever done it. So.
Yeah, no one's done this before. And I was thinking it was going to be the front cover. I was like, wouldn't it be cool if that was the front fucking cover? Because me and my buddy Frank Del Vecchio, when we were talking about the Bill and Ted movies a couple months ago, you know, we mentioned that in the first Bill and Ted, when they look at their album, it's like a visual album cover. They're doing their little guitar thing, and I'm like, wouldn't that be cool to have like an album cover like that? And that's what I thought this was gonna be like, but
it's getting there.
It's getting there, you know. That's
one
cool
day
as shit.
we'll have the holographic fucking
I
visual.
was like, that's fucking cool though. But I was like, I had to hit that pre-order up the moment I heard.
Stallions!
Man, people, there are people. I'm part of some CD collector groups on Facebook, and the day the album came out, some people were getting theirs sent in the day before. Oh, that happens. And people were like, 3 copies, 4 copies. I'm like, why? 2 if you want to open one and keep one sealed.
Right, yeah.
2, why 4? You're flipping this shit. I know it. Why do you need 4 fucking copies of this? Why are you spending almost $200? Because he's gonna flip this shit, and motherfuckers are gonna buy it.
Yep, and they did.
That is the thing. Because on Discogs, if you guys are familiar with Discogs, they always show you the value of an album based on how low it's sold and how high it's sold, and then they have the medium. The last I looked, it was just a couple days ago, somebody bought that shit for like $117, and I'm like, don't do this, don't do this. Because guess what happened? The shit sold out like fucking hotcakes.
Yeah.
And then they announced a 1 day, just for like yesterday at midnight, we got more copies, US only, get them while you can. And it's like, oh, Tool. And here's the controversy, okay. People are bitching that, oh, it costed a lot. Well, obviously it's going to cost a lot. It's a limited release. It's the deluxe edition. And the video screen and all that, I'm sure it costs a decent amount to manufacture. I'm sure it's not I'm sure it's not amazingly expensive.
It's it's all those the old PSPs that they no longer want.
Yeah.
Nobody ever wants. They're like, hey, we got a shitload of those. Let's just make them onto albums.
Yeah, there you go.
Screens.
I'm sure it costs a little more than an average CD to make. You know, you'll spend $20 on the deluxe edition, but it has a bigger package, maybe a couple extra songs and stuff, but not a fucking rechargeable HD video screen.
HD. High definition.
High definition. Well, right? I mean, it's 2019. They could have gave us some 4K.
Yeah.
You know, but it still looks good. It still looks cool to me. But the controversy lies in the fact that, oh man, Tool should have made their stuff readily available for their fans. Well, they did. You just missed out on the pre-order because you didn't want to spend $45.
Yeah.
Because guess what? There will be standard versions to come out.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, this is almost a test run.
And the thought is that those standard versions are still going to have awesome artwork.
Yeah, that's the thing. If the standard, I'm probably still going to buy the standard version when it comes out, just because of it being different.
Right, and it's going to be different. It's
Exactly.
Tool. They're going to have
its own thing
on it.
Yeah. So it's going to be special away from these. And people would say, oh, this is a test run to see how dumb their fans are, you know. Well, not really. The thing is you didn't want to spend $45. Now guess what? All the assholes bought them all up and they're flipping that shit. I saw a dude post one on eBay. But do you know what else he had with it? The Salival one. And Salival is a fairly rare Tool
It's
album.
a live album.
Yeah, it's a fairly rare one. That one I've seen get pretty high. But this dude had that and Fear Inoculum and posted it for $9,000. Or not $9,000, but $999. My bad, not $9,000. I'm stupid.
Somebody's gonna buy it.
And that's my thing. I'm like, please don't buy that, because I mean,
Don't do it.
Don't be that stupid. Don't fucking be that stupid, because you can go over here and if you want it that bad, spend the $80 somebody's trying to flip it for. If you want Salival that bad, you're never gonna find a brand new copy of that shit. So buy it for the fairly expensive price, but you'll find it cheap. I got it for $5 from Charlie.
Oh, there you go.
Right? You can still find it fairly cheap on Discogs, you know. But yeah, all the assholes bought them all up. because they knew the shit was going to sell out and people were going to buy it. And the people that are spending all that money on it, just wait a minute. Just wait a second. Because you're gonna start seeing, you'll eventually find some of that shit fairly cheap. Eventually.
Eventually. $1,900.
$1,900
For Inoculum plus their Opiate album. That's the entire discography with the new one. $1,900.
Show that shit to the camera. $1,900, people. The whole discography.
$1,900.
Now is this? Wow, the whole discography.
It's the tape. They're on tape too.
Okay, well, what is this dude trying to sell here?
It's all on tape.
The cassettes.
The cassettes.
The fucking
Plus
cassettes. And it looks like there might be an enema vinyl in the back.
There you go.
You have something with the enema cover
so
on
Opiate,
there.
Undertow,
On cassette, people.
And like their albums before 10,000 Days.
On cassette, people, because I'm sure 10,000 Days wasn't released on cassette. I'm sure
No, 10,000 Days came out in 2006.
Yeah.
Or 2007, somewhere there.
Now, cassettes are a bit of a thing people are starting to collect now.
115 just for the deluxe album of this one.
Christ. But look, people, it's not worth it. You can buy every Tool album, the main albums, easily $5 or less used. Decent ass copies. Hell, my copy of 10,000 Days I bought for $5 new at Best Buy 4 or 5 years ago.
You can get a Fear Inoculum unopened signed by Alex Gray for $325. Signed.
Now, I can't tell you whether or not you should buy that. Because some people do like signed shit. And you can have the cheapest bullshit CD ever and it be signed by somebody and somebody's going to want it, which is fine. But yeah, don't. Wait a little bit. That's why Tool put their shit on digital.
Exactly. Buy digital.
I mean.
Or don't.
Like, yeah, the thing is like, I'm never going to go digital. But it's there. It's readily available. They made it readily available. It's for download. But for all the people like me who want the physical copy, it is a bit bullshit that these assholes bought them all up. But at the same time, they were kind of smart because they knew idiots were going to fucking pay $200 for this motherfucker because they missed out. But that's a big reason why it sold out so quick. It's because of the hype it sold out. But it also sold out so quick because of the assholes who were like, I'm going to flip this.
And it's Tool.
And yeah, that's the
12
thing.
years
the
out,
hype.
Tool was one of the biggest fucking bands.
They did the same thing. Flippers did the same thing when David Bowie died. Because he died right after Black Star came out. Black Star happened to be like one of his biggest like mainstream albums in a long time. And as soon as he died, Flippers started buying all the records at all the stores and then started flipping them on eBay for a decent chunk of fucking cash, to the point where they re-released it. So now you have version 2, which in collector's eyes isn't as worth.
It's the same songs.
Yeah, it's the same songs, right? To me, I'd be happy with version 2. I don't mind. I don't care if it's an original or a re-release. It just has to sound good. So yeah, Flippers are gonna do this shit forever. But that's one of the controversies surrounding this album. And but I think it's cool as shit. I think the packaging is awesome. By far, some of the most inventive packaging for a CD. And it blows me away that it's for a CD because there's not a vinyl release yet.
Right.
This is only on CD like this. So the fact that Tool came from the era when CDs were the thing.
Right. They just started.
Yeah.
The thing.
And so they're still sort of paying respects to that CD crowd, which I love. Because a lot of times, especially today, the cooler versions, you get some of the better shit when you get the vinyl version nowadays, because vinyl is so in. So you'll get, with the deluxe vinyl bundles, you get some cooler shit if you like shit and random trinkets with your album. But you'll get a deluxe CD version, which is cool too. But a lot of times it's not as cool as the vinyl deluxe. And so I like that Tool did that. Now, who knows what they're gonna do if they do decide to make a vinyl version. And like you said, the standard CD is still gonna be cool as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, Tool's always been, even every one of their albums has something interesting to it, and I think that if they put something like this for $40 out originally, then their $12 album that's gonna, that in regular albums, that booklet is gonna be something interesting.
It's gonna be fucking rad.
It's not gonna be a lyrics book, or my favorite one is when you open it up and all it is the thank yous. That always pisses me off. That's why I don't buy albums anymore.
To look at, when it's just one panel fold out.
Thank you for making this album to the producer and my family.
Yeah, you just got credits and thank yous, and like there's nothing to look at.
Some fucking lyrics on there or something. Yeah, that's what it was.
I hate it when it's bare bones like that. And what's even worse is like when you get digipacks. And so the digipack is just the cardboard case, and you open it up. There's no slit for artwork. You just open it up. Thank yous and shit right there, and that's it. That to me is like the worst.
Little card
I mean, like really now, like a lot of times I don't even open those anymore, because if you get the auto rip on Amazon, I'm downloading it. I'm just putting the fucking CD on the shelf. I got a good handful of them that haven't been opened just because I know there's nothing in there.
There's nothing cool. It's
just, why do I need to open this and look at it when it's just gonna piss me off? But yeah, so it's cool as shit that they are sort of paying respects to that CD crowd, because you don't get a lot of CD love nowadays. Like even like Rammstein's deluxe edition up here, fucking, you pay $3 extra for a taller CD case, and it folds out a lot.
Looks like a DVD case.
Yeah. It folds out a lot. There's cool pictures there. The lyric book, it talks about, 38-page lyric book. You open it up, there's no pictures in there, like, at all.
It's literally lyrics.
It's just pictures and matches. Like, matches are, like, set up as, like, the numbers and shit. I'm like, really now? No extra songs. So you're just paying for this extra cardboard. You know what I mean? But me, I'm a sucker for that shit. So
they used to do, one thing I liked that they don't do anymore is when they come out with the DVD. Or something that has, like Korn used to do it.
They'll have a DVD with the CD.
Yeah, they'll have their live, like a few live songs on there, and then they'll have maybe a small documentary or something. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of, like Korn's done it a couple times. They've done it like twice, and then a lot of Roadrunner people, they've done it to where
a lot of Roadrunner people do that.
Slipknot's when their deluxe Iowa edition had some live stuff, and I mean there was. A lot of bands, they don't do that stuff anymore though.
Yeah, I remember when the DVD things was coming out real big, when it first started happening with CDs. I remember being like, that is so cool, because ICP was doing it.
Nickelback did it.
Well, but there was other bands that I liked. Marilyn Manson did it with that.
And also
Golden Age album. I thought that was so cool because I was like, you're giving me something extra.
The thing is nowadays though, like when people. You see a lot of bands that they're like, we got a double disc, and all the songs are on one disc because the discs are so high, And I always hated that because I always wanted to do this. Like I wanted to where I could just flip this little piece of plastic and there's a second disc right there. Even though that second, it was always a piece of shit, so it would fall and break somewhere.
Yeah, some of them, those slimline double disc cases aren't made as well as the original thick double disc cases. Yeah. But I do like the slimline ones better because you could fit more CDs on the shelves. It's not
I know for sure. Korn's Take a Look in the Mirror had it. I have their special. It has the DVD. And
rad.
And you could see it will have that. And then I know Lamb of God's done it, and they've done the DVD on the Wrath album.
But nowadays, like a lot of times, I can't remember the last time I put the DVD in and watched it.
I never watched the DVD.
I bought
there for collection.
I bought a Floggin' Molly album at Goodwill that had the DVD and the CD. Never put the DVD in. Bought a Dropkick Murphys at a Goodwill with the CD and the DVD. Never put the DVD in because I don't have.
It's all on YouTube now. So
yeah, exactly.
What's on this? Okay, I don't want to take it out and ruin it.
I'm not trying to put things in there yet. So, deluxe editions have come a long way, and then have kind of got stupid, then kind of got really cool again. There's always kind of like a
I always
peaks
like,
and valleys.
I always like
deluxe.
the ones where they give you cool shit.
Yeah.
Like a little patch or something.
Yeah.
Those make me
Something
excited.
cool
Even
and
like
physical.
a souvenir for buying the album.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's what the new Tool album is pretty much. You had your souvenir, the fucking.
A goddamn
HD
trippy video.
television.
Here, smoke some weed, pop some mushrooms, open the CD case, and trip out for
dabbing
7
acid,
minutes.
I don't know, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Don't dab an acid on it.
Fucking,
Don't do that.
take a hit of DMT, man, open that CD case, and just fucking vibe for about 7 minutes. And then turn the album on and vibe for 86 minutes.
86 long fucking minutes, man.
So,
Those long fucking minutes.
let's get into this now.
Alright. Go.
13 years, alright? 13 years ago.
Took that long to make this album.
There,
13-year album.
10,000 Days came out, and loved it. Loved the shit out of it.
2006, I think, is when it came
Yeah,
out.
2006, yeah. And loved the shit out of it.
So many good
I
songs
love
on that.
Tool's progression as a band, because when you listen to Undertow, like Tool always just sounds like Tool to me. Like there's no real way to sort of explain what they sound like.
When I had to mention this.
Even when they are doing more shorter songs, rockier songs, heavier songs, it all still just sounds like Tool. Like Tool sounds like Tool. And then when they're doing 15-minute fucking slow jams, slow builds, it still sounds like Tool.
Yeah, when I went to judge this, my wife asked me, "What do you think of the album?" I go, "How?" I was like, "It's Tool." I mean, there's really, you can't be like, "Oh, it's fucking the most amazing thing." No, it's fucking Tool. I mean, it's what it is. There's no band that compares to them.
Yeah.
Because there's no band like them. I mean, there's bands that have similar, like not even similar sounds. They copy things that say that kind of. You don't listen to a lot of bands. That sounds like a Tool song.
Yeah,
You don't. No one does that.
Like, oh, this kind of reminds me of Tool. You can listen to Tool. There's millions of people that will say Tool reminds them of King Crimson. And I can hear that, but at the same time, nah, it just sounds like fucking Tool.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you're just like...
Because that's another thing. Tool, to me, is not Maynard. And that's what a lot of people are a little flipped on. A lot of people think Maynard is Tool. And to me, Tool isn't Maynard. Maynard's a part of Tool, but to me, Tool is Danny Carey, Adam Jones, and is it Justin Chambers or whatever the fuck? I don't know what his name is, but it's those guys. And then even the original
really old dudes.
Even the original bassist before that guy joined. I think that was it him on
That's great.
on fucking Undertow, or let me look this up really quick. But go ahead and talk for a second.
Yeah, so the new Tool album, you can't say anything other than it's Tool. I mean, it's the sound that you get out of it. It's the same. And like he was saying, the band itself is not just Maynard. Maynard, he has that voice. No one sounds like Maynard Keenan. Not one person out there has a similar style of how he does his vocals. Because that band, it's one of those bands like we were talking with Slipknot earlier, and you could say the sound of Slipknot sounds a lot like Slipknot, but there's Corey Taylor, who's pretty much the lead of the band, and that he's the lead of Slipknot and Stone Sour or whatever. Maynard, on the other hand, he has this different feel for it because he's also in two other bands that sound pretty much like a softer Tool or a more experimental style of Tool because of Maynard's voice, though. I think so. It's like you have Pussifer, who is the more electronic style of Tool, because of Maynard's voice.
I hate it when people say, "Well, yeah, there you go," because of Maynard's voice. Because, I would say that's just another Maynard thing. Because I've known people to say "Oh, Perfect Circle is like the feminine side of Tool," and I'm like, there's nothing Tool about it.
No, there really isn't. He seems.
It's just Maynard.
Different.
If it was Maynard and the other guys in Tool doing a different band, then I could say.
But it's not.
It's another
so
side of Tool. It's
Tool
just
does
another
not sound
side
like
of
Perfect
Maynard.
Circle.
Exactly. It's
Perfect
just
Circle
another
doesn't
side
sound
of
like Tool.
Maynard.
It sounds like
That's
Maynard.
why, to me, Tool can drop Maynard and do just fine for me. Because me, like I said, I am all in for the band members. I like Maynard and I like his lyrics and stuff, but I'm mostly listening to the band, and it's sort of always been that way because the band impresses me more than Maynard. Because Maynard, the thing about this album, and before I get to this, what I was saying was. Paul Diamore was the original bassist. He was on Opium and Undertow, and then you get the guy who's been there since '95, Justin Chancellor.
Not Chambers.
And yeah, not Chambers.
Some of the same.
Yeah. You've already corrected me in the comments, I'm sure. So
You dumb
you are the worst Tool fan. You got his name wrong.
suck.
So, to me, I'm mostly listening to the band. The band impresses me more than Maynard, because here's what Maynard does for the most part, and that's what's happened these past 13 years. Maynard went on, made some wine, made a couple Pussifer albums.
Shit, no, he made more than a couple.
Yeah.
He made like 4.
Finally made another Perfect Circle album.
Yep. 4.
What has Tool been doing? Tool has been fucking pretty much just perfecting the shit out of this album.
The drummer.
Yeah, the drummer's he's actually gone on tour with Green Jello a couple times. They've played a lot.
He's done a lot. He was in what was that band?
Shit, Chancellor was on the last Primus album.
Yep.
I mean, they've done different things, but, they weren't doing any Pussifer or Perfect Circle. They weren't doing their own, like, full-on project that I know of. They were always writing this music, and Maynard would, like, just come in and be like, oh, let me see what you guys did. All right, I'm going to go make some more wine. Like, a lot of people say Maynard's kind of feels phoned in on this album. And there are parts where I'm like, it almost does feel like he's phoned it in. But the band, like, I'm here for the band. Like, Maynard is a bonus. Maynard's the vocal guy, he's the lyric guy. I've always said, I just need some echoey bass shit, long fucking, just cool sounding music, and I just need Maynard to say something about the third eye.
Let me be the devil's advocate here. Tool is on their 6th album or 7th.
What is this album
Is it 6th?
number?
I don't know. I'm a terrible Tool fan. I'm not a Tool head.
It is actually the 5th album.
5th album. Okay, so they're on 5 albums. Honestly, if you take out Maynard, you cannot have Tool because of the influential voice styling that he puts out. You replace him with anybody else, the band itself can be replaced. You get a drummer that can pretty much play anything Tool. They pretty much will play anything Tool. You get a bassist.
But the thing is they will be able to play those songs.
You can't replace the sound of what.
But they will not be able to make anything new that is as good as that.
Yeah.
See, here's what I mean by when I said that. Here's what I mean. Maynard can go off and do whatever band he wants.
Right.
Tool, to me, could survive without Maynard.
Lyrically, I think so, but the sound of his voice.
The sound of the voice. Tool would obviously Tool would have to change the name probably.
Yeah, I mean it would be.
It wouldn't be the full-on collaboration. But as far as the band members, to me they will be fine without Maynard.
Yeah, I mean
because they will always be as talented.
But it would never be Tool again, though.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Tool.
As people say, Maynard is Tool.
See, Maynard isn't Tool.
Because the sound of Maynard.
That's my thing. Like, Maynard isn't Tool. Tool
being
is
a vocalist,
all
it sounds
guys.
exactly or near.
Well, that's the thing. Same thing with all these other bands who've switched vocalists and shit. Like Stone Temple Pilots changed vocalists twice.
They have a similar guy though.
But it's his writing style isn't. What you're saying is true, because whoever comes back in won't be able to write like Maynard. Yeah, he could say some things about the third eye. He could talk about astral projection, but it's not gonna feel right. So Tool would have to change their name, but they could still continue to make that same music.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is like I would always follow these guys even if Maynard just quit and they decided to keep going. I would probably follow these guys more than I would follow Maynard. because I like Pussifer okay, and I like A Perfect Circle okay, but they don't pull me in like Tool does.
Yeah, but it's also saying, so we were talking earlier how like Korn was a movement. You know, Tool has that similar kind of feel to it because they are huge now.
And if they do, that movement's going to split in half.
Right, but you can't have Korn without Jonathan Davis.
No, you can't.
And you can, I mean, you can have that. You can have the heavy guitar, the same style. You can have Head do his thing because Head actually did his own single thing, and it sounded similar to Korn, but it wasn't Korn. Monkey did his own thing with Fear and what is it called? Something in Fear or Fear and something. I can't remember. He did his own thing. The vocalist kind of sounded similar to Jonathan Davis, but you can't have Korn without Jonathan Davis. Just like you can't have Slipknot. Well, you could have Slipknot without Corey Taylor, honestly, because there are a lot of vocalists who have very similar vocals to Corey Taylor. So you could have.
But since Corey Taylor is such a, well, I don't know. You were talking about how Sean is like the main music.
I'm pretty sure that Slipknot could move on more without Corey Taylor, but Tool to me, where just how Maynard is, Tool could not continue as Tool.
It couldn't be Tool again, but as far as if you want that music, they will, because Maynard doesn't control the music these guys write. Maynard comes in, throws some lyrics down, throws some vocals down, and calls it a day.
Exactly.
And so that's what I mean by they can survive without Maynard.
Yeah, I mean they could.
So like, yeah, because other bands too, like Sublime, has shown us with 3 albums they can't survive without Brad Noel. But the members of No Doubt with Dream Car have showed us that they could survive without Gwen Stefani. Just change the name.
Yeah.
You know, change your style a little bit.
A lot of bands can do that as long as you play, how you play the music.
Yeah, but if Tool were to drop Maynard but continue to make that real slow build drony tribal kind of proggy shit, I would definitely still be into it,
right.
Even if Maynard's not a part of it, because like I said, I just need some pseudo-philosophical bullshit, you know, over this trippy kind of mind music, and I'll be happy. Like, I'll never be one of those Tool fans, like the stereotypical Tool fan, like
they
we were
play in
joking about.
4/8, 7/6, and 12/2.
I love that. That's so funny because they do get weird and crazy like that. But I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh man, no band is better because they played a song in the Fibonacci sequence, like, which is cool as fuck.
Right.
But I'm not gonna be like, this is better than that because they did that.
Right.
Like, it's just cool that they did that. Same thing. Like they bragged about how they play a lot of these songs in 7/8 on this album. Like 7's a big thing on this album.
Right.
And I'm like, you know, that's cool. But that's giving shit for those elitists to be like, oh man, 7/8. Oh,
there's
my
a lot
God.
of bands out there that have elitists in it. For them.
Yeah. I think every fan base has a bit of toxicity in there. There's some toxic fanboys and fangirls in any kind of fandom. Some of them it leaks out a little more.
Have you heard about that?
Huh?
Taylor Swift.
Oh, the Taylor Swift thing there. That's
It's just funny.
thing is everybody's complaining, oh man, you know, I don't know who Tool is. Well, you don't because you're
12.
young
Yeah.
and you only know what.
You're a 12-year-old girl.
You're still at the age of letting the radio tell you what is good. And I was at that point when I was 12 when I only knew the radio.
That's true.
So we all
What
are
your dad
there.
had.
Yeah, whatever my parents listened to, and whatever the radio told me what was good. You know, we were all there at one point. And so I get it. Nobody's. I mean, it's been 13 years. You know, it's been 13 years. That's a whole generation.
And the music hasn't changed. 13 years, and a progressive band did not progress whatsoever to me. We should get to the album
a little
now.
bit. There's a lot of build. Hey, you know what? This
Fucking
review is mirroring this album so much.
It's so bad because it's a building up to nothing. It's just like, hey, alright, honest opinion, I was bored throughout the album. Entirety, every song. I was not bored with every song. I was bored with half of every song because every song's 10 minutes long. 5 minutes of it I was bored with. The second half of the song I enjoyed. It took them forever a build up.
So you didn't like
to
the long jammies.
Well, because they didn't do it well to me. I mean, when you do a long jammy, don't start with 3 minutes of fucking bongos. I mean, Fear Inoculum, the song, was for 2.5 minutes before you hit, or 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes long, before you even hear Maynard sing anything, right? For anything. So it's a build up to Maynard's voice. And it wasn't like to me, like, and then they had the little intros and outro things that they had in there were annoying. They weren't even cool. Alright, Undertow.
Are you talking about the little interlude tracks?
I hated the ending, for one.
Wait.
The annoying fucking cricket sound that
Oh,
was like high pitched.
that was ridiculous.
And then in the middle of it, there was another thing where it was a drum solo called Chocolate something.
I love that.
Which, I get it.
The chocolate chip trip.
I
love that track so much.
I don't know. It's a
so
shitty
good.
drum solo.
But it's not supposed to be
A good one?
Well, it's not supposed to be a drum solo. It's just a badass drum track with
two shitty other sounds.
weird noise, and I love the
It
weird
wasn't-
noise.
But it's
and
the fact is that, alright, you have one of the most talented drummers with a shitty drum solo.
But it's not a shitty drum solo.
It is very shitty.
It is cool.
It's overdone tom with a little bit of snare and some hi-hats. It was a shit and then in every other song they have the fucking guitarist where it's and it was the same fucking tone, it was the same notes. 3 songs later, towards the end, Tempest, the end of it.
Oh man, you even say that about Tempest. Tempest
love
is
Tempest.
amazing, isn't it?
Loved Tempest.
God, Tempest.
Why did it take 9 or 8, 7, 6, 5,
70 minutes to get
Why
there?
did it take so long to get to the best song in the whole fucking album? And then it was the last song. They should have ended it, but no. Maynard
Crickets.
and all of them were like this high-pitched, annoying fucking sound, and it wasn't even good. It wasn't the fact that it was like this cool little sound with some dude talking in the back of it, like they did on
with Let the Rabbits Eat Lettuce.
with a fucking crazy radio guy in the background. No, it was literally just some fucking annoying sound. If somebody did it on a fucking keyboard, they're like pushing a button that says, "Hey, this sounds like we could end it like a Tool song, right?" Like this could be an end of a Tool album, right? It's weird, it's stupid, and it's fucking annoying. And it's not one of those things where you want to hear the ending. Like the minute Tempest ends, you turn the CD off. It's not like you want to hear the last annoying sound of your life. I'd want to ride my car into a wall if I have to hear that ever again. No, wait. Then, in the middle of the fucking album, we're not even into the songs yet, by the way.
Dude.
The middle of the fucking album, they have this annoying, fucking stupid bass fucking tribulation going on where it's...
What, dude? I loved that.
No!
Dude.
My ears did not love that. I turned
Are
it
you
down,
serious?
and then I was like, oh, I can't hear nothing. So I turned it just slightly up, and then one of the bass levels goes way too high, and then way too low, and then way too high again, and then it stays high, and it goes low again. And this goes on for, what, 2 minutes? And or some, I'm guessing and throwing out different random times, but it was long enough to where I never want to hear it. And then, I mean, why? There's nothing cool about noises when they're bad. When it's done terribly.
To me, the noises are great. So let me get.
But you'll start skipping them after hearing the album. 3
Dude,
times
I have
you do
listened.
not want to
I
hear
have
it.
listened to this album all the way through from start to finish.
And you always listen to the sounds.
Every day, yeah, every day since the album came out,
Can't.
at least once. Because I like different things. You know, the thing to me, it's all part of one song. Oh,
It was cool the first time, and that was it.
but I love it. Like you with the with the Slipknot, where you're still finding different things. I'm still grabbing different
You
things.
can't grab different things about
And-
sound effects like that.
Oh,
though.
dude,
It's-
but no, the thing is like I'm hearing things. I've been listening to it with the headphones, and dude, I'm just like I'm loving every
listen to it with
minute.
headphones?
Yes, with the headphones, dude.
You're
Like,
not deaf
I'm
because of the
not
fucking
deaf
bass
because
sound?
I just love all the different things happening on this
I'm
album.
all for experimental sounds.
And this is this is exactly what to tell you guys the truth, this is exactly what I expected it to sound like. I mean, a lot of the people complaining, I'm like, what did you expect?
I expected a Tool album, and that's what I got. I got a Tool album.
Yeah, that's what we got. We got a Tool album.
Care for though.
But a lot of people, they're real split down the middle. I haven't seen anybody who are like just indifferent. I've seen people like you just really like, man, like ripping it.
Well, I'm only ripping the sound effects right now. I haven't gotten to the songs yet.
Oh yeah, and then
I have
there's
good
people
things
like
to
me
say.
that, man, I love it. I love it. I'm loving every minute of this album. The interludes are actually some of my favorite parts, like the chocolate chip trip, the what is this? I can't even pronounce this, but I'm gonna say track 3. I'm going by the digital version.
Numa.
Well, I'm saying track 3. I'm going by the digital track.
Tani contre la paix.
Yeah, that one, I love that. The synth parts on this album. You know, you don't hear a lot of synth in Tool. It's always just bass, guitar, drums, and vocals, which is fine. But hearing this added element really like gets me into it because I love synth stuff anyway. And they use it in a very, this album is minimalist as fuck. That's the thing. Tool's brand of prog is very minimalist, and I like that because what they give us is impressive just because there's not a whole lot in there. And what's in there is incredibly tight, always incredibly well produced. To me, the drums alone sound amazing on this album. You can hear every tone, because this dude's got a massive drum set. He's got a massive kit. And just the fact that you can hear every tiny nuance of these drums.
Perfectly.
Wow. Such a great produced album.
The production.
The guitar tones are really good. The bass tone always sounds good. Maynard's vocals sound so good on here. To me, I got everything that I wanted and a little more. But I can definitely see it's a 13-year wait. You know, it's not going to please everybody, and everybody in 13 years have grown different.
Right, and they wanted something different out of each thing in each album now. And alright, so minus the annoyances of those 3 things, sound effects.
Yeah.
The 2 sound effects, okay.
That's another reason I like the drum solo track.
I like the idea
I like
of
how
it.
you can hear every little bit in there.
Right.
There are production things, or not, I mean percussion things in some of the songs where I'm like, what is this thing that is here? What is this thing? Because it's going like, it almost sounds like a little, like a pipe thing he's fucking with,
well, see,
man. Like going.
Alright, I'm gonna start with the drum solo, even though it's in the middle. Chocolate, what's it called?
Chocolate chip trick.
Chocolate chip trick. Okay. I like the idea behind it more than I like the track because, one, the guy's a really good drummer. Yeah. We all know this. He's one of the best drummers in rock
music
metal,
right now.
Rock and metal. He's one of the best drummers out there. But it was very repetitive, and it wasn't, to me, as a drum solo, it wasn't chosen right. As a guitarist myself, the notes themselves. If it was a guitar solo, right, and it was badly chosen notes. That's how I just describe it, because I'm a guitarist. So each thing, you have toms, you have the smaller tom, the bigger toms, or whatever. It's how everything was put. I didn't care for it. I didn't like how the track went itself.
But to me, it's not even, that song isn't just about the drums. It's about the weird shit's happening, the weird sounds and all the other stuff going on.
It wasn't weird enough for me. I think I needed more weird. That's what I wanted. I think I needed more weird sounds than the drum.
Yeah, I will say this album isn't as weird as some of their other albums, because their other albums can get pretty weird.
And I like the weirdness.
And there's some weird stuff on here.
It's not,
but it's not as weird, and I can definitely see that.
And alright, so you're 12, you're 13.
But then at the same time, maybe I'm not hearing the weirdness because I expect it now.
Well,
and to me, it's sort of the norm.
It's
for
not.
Tool.
Well, no, I mean, I've listened. Even recently, I've gone back and listened to the entire discography over the last month. You know?
Yeah, 'cause I had to get prepared.
I had to get prepared for the new album.
Prepared for this.
And there are parts of me that are like I said, there are parts. It's just too long per song. it is cool to have 10-minute songs. It is cool to have 15-minute songs. Sometimes it's really cool if you're
20,
Devin
30
Townsend
minutes.
to have a 20-minute fucking triple fucking trio of things. It is not cool when every one of your fucking songs is 10 or is 8 to 12 minutes long, and it takes forever for anything to happen.
But they're all
you don't go to a
builds,
play.
man.
You don't go to a, all right. Let's say it as a different artistry. You don't go to a play, right? And the first act is the worst act. Usually, the first act builds up to something good. It doesn't take the entire album to build up to the best thing, the end of it. It shouldn't. It took too long per song to do anything.
And I can see that because, like I said, to me, I kind of look at this whole album as one big song.
It wasn't, because it went backwards each song. You finally get through Fear Inoculum, you get to the middle of that one, and then you get Pneuma, which sounded almost like a song exactly from 10,000 Days. Almost! Like that beginning of Pneuma, whatever the fuck it is.
Pneuma's a bad.
There's a song, I can't remember the name of it, there's a song on 10,000 Days where you could literally put the lyrics to it and it sounds the exact same. It's the exact same song.
But what if that's on purpose? Because we're always finding
It's a
Easter
continuation
eggs.
of 10,000 Days, probably.
Well, here's the thing, because we're always finding Easter eggs years later. Like, after 10,000 Days came out, we found out that I think there's 3 tracks on 10,000 Days that are meant to be played at the exact same time. And I can't remember which. Yeah, I can't remember which 3 tracks they are. But you can look at it on YouTube. People already got it synced up, and it's amazing.
I mean, maybe
so
it's
what
a possibility.
What if this is something that they did to sort of? What if this is just an Easter egg? I have no clue. But
I don't smoke enough drugs for this shit.
but this.
Okay, the sound effects. We'll go back to those at the end, the last track.
Yeah.
What if
Mocking
we
Beat-
take those certain notes and we change them up? Do they make a fucking song? Probably. It's fucking Tool.
Mocking Beat is a bit interesting because after The Tempest, which is probably one of the more phenomenal tracks on the album.
Good song.
Mocking Beat, I like it because it's sort of it kind of just soothes you out. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Bleeds you out. Soothes your bleeding ears.
Like, it's just kind of, you know.
There's no soothing to it. It's an
brings you
annoying
up.
sound effects. And it's a multiple one. So I can see it. If you look at it in a different perspective, maybe if you cut up differently the mocking beat, right? And you downplay the notes into something else. Maybe it becomes something, because Tool loves doing stupid shit like that, where they're like, well, yeah, it's annoying if you listen to it regularly, but if you like to reproduce it differently, take this note and move it over to the left, and then take that note and make it this note, then
Actually,
obviously...
Mocking Beat is meant to be played at the exact same time
as your dick!
As 46 and 2.
Right, so
And then it'll
yes,
sound amazing.
if you think of it like a person on motherfucking meth, along with smoking way too much ganja, then yes, you could possibly get it to the point where, yeah,
I wouldn't say
awesome.
meth. I'd say DMT and weed.
Alright,
and
if you fucking smoke a
More-
lot of pot and
more-
drop some acid, and
Yeah.
then possibly maybe do a little bit of X in there, then possibly, yeah, you could make this entire Tool album the most eye-opening thing you have ever
Third eye
fucking
opening. Don't
heard.
forget.
Third eye.
eye opening.
We all have 3
Gotta
eyes.
get that pineal gland
Right.
growing.
Maybe then, sir, chocolate dickweed would be a good drum solo. But
Oh.
if you listen to it as a sober father such as myself, who has been listening to Tool since high school,
Yeah, I
sucks.
like it. Well, I like it.
I like certain things about it more than I like the entirety of it. Like, okay, I think that Fear Inoculum is a great song, even though it was the single.
Yeah,
Right?
see, that's when
the
I said
10-minute
that.
single that they actually they don't even put Metallica 10-minute songs on there on the radio anymore. They cut that shit off. They're like, no, Metallica, we don't do this. Tool goes, yes, you will.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, sure, why not?
And
It's
Tool's
Tool.
like, they're like, well,
You're
shit,
gonna put-
this is almost the shortest track on the album.
Right, almost.
Because
It's
they're-
not, but it's almost the
Because
shortest
they're not
track.
going to put Mocking Beat. You know, oh, this is the 2-minute song. Oh, you don't want this 2-minute song on the radio.
So, they didn't even cut any of it. Like, they could have cut probably the first 2 or 3 minutes of the
And you
Tool
know what's
song,
crazy?
and it still would have been a good song.
You know what's crazy is they would do that way back in the day when
Right,
prog was a
years ago.
thing. When prog was a thing and you had 3-track albums with a 20-minute song and 2 10-minute tracks, the 10-minute track they chose as single, they would normally take that middle half out
And, like 6 minutes
and turn it into a single.
Right,
They
and
did
a
that
lot
to
of-
Yes and
a lot of
Pink
bands have done
Floyd.
that.
They did that to Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Yes.
That was the norm back then. But nowadays, you know, prog
Here's the
is,
song, play it all.
yeah. Here's take
And this is
10 minutes out
the
of your
thing is
time.
with Fear Inoculum though, it's the best build up.
You think so?
I think as a full song, as one song, not the best build up to the next song, but it's the best build up. I think it doesn't bore me.
It is probably
As
one of
much.
the ones that is a less of a real thinking man's track.
Right.
It's the one that I definitely see that one working on the radio a lot.
It does
easier
work
than
out
some
better.
of these.
And see, the thing with Fear Inoculum is that you got
Because I can
Foggy
see Tempest
Tool.
working, because Tempest is probably the heaviest thing on there.
Tempest is the best thing on there.
But
That's
it's-
the only thing.
I
that
think
kept that album
15
from
minutes
being
is just
shitty.
way too long for the radio. They're like, we'll give
It's
you
all
this
good, though,
one.
like, from beginning to end of Tempest
The
is-
Tempest is like the opus.
Ask
on the
anybody who
album.
listens to that album,
The
they'll
Tempest
tell you
is
the best
definitely
songs on
the
there is the
opus. To
Tempest.
me, it all builds up to that.
Yeah, well,
like, It's all to me. This album feels like,
it's all built up.
but
except for that
but
last
it's,
song.
To me, it's cool build up because
It's
I feel like I'm walking through a labyrinth.
I can remember see, the thing is that I can remember one riff because it's on 4 different songs. Like, I can literally go right here and you go dun 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 and that's on 4 fucking songs, and it's not cool because all you're doing is taking that riff and you're like, all right, this sounds cool right here. I'm gonna take that same riff because it sounds just as cool on this next song.
But what do you think about the bass too? Because the bass does a lot of the same stuff too.
That's the one thing about Tool that I always like is that the bass always plays well. Right.
And it's like most of the time it's that echo. You know, he's just a one string plunking.
And so listen, it's not on Numa, it's on the left here, whatever. I'm not French.
That one, that track is so cool with the synths and shit.
Right,
man.
and that one it has moments of sincerity and good and I kind of dig the lyrically. I like Invincible.
Yeah, I like Invincible
But
too.
my favorite, okay, if I had to actually pick favorite songs on there, obviously it's Tempest, but I like Descending.
Descending is bad as fuck.
It's a badass song, and it wasn't. I mean, it had good.
Yeah, that one's 1337.
Right, it had good riffs, which is as a guitarist. That's the first. I'm gonna listen to the riffs.
I think in a weird way, each song gives everybody. It's almost like each song gives everybody a little bit of a chance to shine and do their thing, and then there are other songs where it's more about everyone. It's almost like everyone together, and then bass guy, guitar guy, drum
Yeah,
guy.
and I think
everyone
Maynard
together,
shined.
bass drum, like.
Invincible was a Maynard song because it was lyrically probably the strongest song on there. Lyrically.
Yeah, because the thing is, a lot of people are complaining that, like I said, some people are saying Maynard phones it in on here. And they're complaining there's not enough Maynard. 7 tracks. I'm like, well, I mean, look at the track. There's only like, what, 8 tracks on 10,000 Days? You know, they've never had tons of tracks. They've never had tons of fucking
Right,
tracks.
and you know, well, I think, yeah, I mean, most of the time they like to throw in little sound effects and things. Like Enema had 2 or 3.
Well,
things
okay, there's
that were-
11 tracks on 10,000 Days. I'm sorry.
Forget about Zombie.
Yeah, I mean, there's. But all these
10,000 Days
songs.
had so many good songs. though.
10,000 Days is phenomenal. I think all their albums are phenomenal, and to me, Fear Inoculum holds up with the rest.
I think it holds up as a Tool album, but the problem I have with it is that when you wait 13 years, there's a certain thing that you want out of it, and there's not a certain thing I want out of one song. Like I got everything I wanted out of Tempest, right? But when I buy the album for just Tempest, I would download Tempest, just the song. I mean, it's a 12-minute song, so it's pretty much 3 songs anyway. But I mean, all together as a whole, though, I was disappointed because I was just bored.
I can see people being bored.
Half
man.
the album
I can
was just-
see people. I totally feel you on the board.
And it wasn't like, when I say half, right? So I'm not looking at it as half the songs were good, half the songs were bad. I'm looking at it, half of each song was bad, half of each song was really good. Because the fact is, it took so long in almost all the songs. It took so long to build up to anything that was really entertaining to me.
It is. It's a slow build, man. The whole album
but
is
it's
a slow
every
build.
song, and nobody always.
Every song.
I don't
is
want an opera
like that. Every song is like that. But which
want a
is
metal
the one
or
that
a
starts
rock
off
album.
with the waves? Which is the one that starts off with the ocean and ends with the ocean?
I think that would be the one before the drum solo. So which one's that? That's. Is that Invincible or is that Descending?
It's a good halfway through the album. It's about maybe it's Invincible or Descending. It's got to be one of them. Maybe Colon Voices. One of those.
Yeah. See, I don't remember calling voices.
In fact, I don't think it's Invincible. But yeah, that's another thing. Is a lot of the parts on this album. Another reason why I put it together as one big song is because the songs, they are very similar. The songs do all sound the same. That's why I can't remember which one has the ocean.
Right, but you should have an album that does that, though. You want to remember the whole, like, yeah, okay. You buy us, when people...
Because I remember everything about the album. It's just, I can't remember where certain parts belong because, like, to me...
It blurs together.
It blurs together, but at the same time, like, it kind of flows really well for me.
But
like,
here's
it's
how
so
it
weird.
doesn't. So the minute you get to a song, alright, so
You're gonna get 3 minutes of the build up, a couple lyrics,
and then you get
long
some really
jam part.
badass jamming. Like you're like, fuck yeah, this is how you end it, and then it goes backwards again and
It goes back to the
repeats
little slow part.
And it's not even a good slow part. And here's a comparison. All right, Devin Townsend, I love to death. He's a prog guy. All right, he has a certain style of how he did things, where he made songs that flowed perfectly into the next song. Which flowed perfectly into the next song.
And even if you listened to prog from back in the day, they were the same way.
Nothing flowed well, I don't think. I think it fought each other.
In the old days, I totally mean what you say, but like to me, it has a different kind of flow. Like this is a different kind of prog. It's not David Townsend kind of prog.
It's not. I mean, I'm saying as a progression though.
As a progression, I guess I see what you're saying. Cause like, I don't know, man. But to me, I feel the flow. I feel a flow to this album that.
I need to smoke some weed
it's
and
there.
then listen to it. And
I mean,
maybe
you should.
Maybe I should open my third eye, man. Maybe I need to Cheech and Chong.
pineal gland.
I think I just need to Cheech and Chong the whole fucking song CD. And that's
see,
what
I haven't smoked weed in 7 years, and
well, you've tripped balls since then because you just like that though. You just like that. You're just like you're the free-spirited kind of person like that.
Yeah, I guess.
I just have a real point as a musician myself, and you're a musician, obviously. You can see where I'm coming from, though. It's just like, to me, as a musician, the flow is terrible to me. Because of each song, it just drops back again and does the same thing over. And then I like it. All right, I don't mind hearing one song, right, with certain riffs and certain notes and stuff, right? And then the next song they have similar riffs and similar notes, right? Because then you can kind of tell that these three songs belong together in some way or form. I've done that with my Chaos and Order stuff, where I made a song where one thing was kind of named after the other, and they had similar things and features in it. But see, it's to the point where you have one song that has that same riff, and they use it over and over again on different songs that's supposed to be a totally different meaning to you. That's when I get annoyed, because I'm like, I just heard this same thing, and like I said, that whole riff that I did, that's on video now, it's on three or four different songs, and it's not cool. It's not like we used a different level of tone. It's the same notes. It's the same power chord, or it's the same fucking drop chord or whatever. It's the same fucking notes in the same triplet style with the same 7/8 fucking bass behind it, and the drums. I can't hear any more toms. Overused toms and fucking jungle beats.
That's every Tool, man.
They do not overuse jungle beats though.
Dude, you never
jungle.
You rarely
You
get
have-
a standard rock beat.
All I
with Tool.
pictured was some dude, hippie dude with his fucking hair dreaded. The entire time, this, hey man, yeah, you hear that, young
Like,
man?
dude, another thing I love about this album. Another thing I love about this album is they make everything easy to pick out. Like I said, I've listened to this album at least once, all the way through, every day since it came out. And every time I listen to it, they make it easy to where I can be like, okay, this time I'm only going to listen to the guitar. I'm going to pay attention to the guitar and nothing else. This time I'm only going to pay attention to the drums. This time I'm only going to pay attention to the bass. They really make it easy for you to pick out and really focus on that instrument and really just take in what they're doing.
And that's one of the things.
And then like that's another thing I love about it, because I'm like I'm hearing where the similarities come in, but I'm also hearing where they obscure it a little bit. And then when you get to the weird interludes, I don't know, man, there's something that brings this album together.
I think it's 13 years too long. I think
Totally
they
works.
threw up everything that they
You
had.
really
in
think
13
that?
years
In
saved
13
up.
years, but you know
And
what's
they
funny?
just-
Maynard did say in an interview just the other day, well, it sounded great 8 years ago.
Right, and I think they just threw it out there like, hey, look, I thought of this in the last 13 years. We should try doing this. Well, yeah, that sounds great. I thought of this, and then
'Cause
like,
I will say-
that sounds great too. We need to fit that in somewhere, and it feels like. So you
I
have
will say,
13 songs. All right, so you have
for
what,
13
7?
years, this is some pretty basic Tool shit. I'm not gonna lie there. For something that we waited 13 years on, that they kept saying they had been writing since 2008, 2007. If you've been writing this since 2007 and you just now drop it in 2019, it is some pretty basic ass Tool shit.
It's not even better. Like I was. All right,
I mean, now
13 years is what I want. Music to
basic.
be better than 10,000 Days. Yes, I want them to progress further than where they've been, because each album from
Each album
Opiate
did do that.
on,
Each album
from
did
Opiate on,
progress.
got better than the last. This one did not get
And
better
this
than
one,
the
I
last.
think there are parts
it's
where
too old.
I think there are parts where this did progress beyond. I think, and a lot of that's in
For
the
1 minute.
interludes. I think a lot of that is in the interludes, and the
Drum solo.
and the fucking drum solo, dude.
He had a drum solo in every song
dude,
though.
but the drum, but
With
this
toms
one,
and a
this
fucking
one
jungle
is-
drums.
This one, I think another thing too is I think another thing too about the reason this album is mostly like this is because of the fact that Maynard wasn't around a lot. I think this is mostly an album about the band and just jamming. Because Maynard wasn't around a lot, so I mean there's not a lot of
Right,
Maynard
we'll
on
come out with
here.
an instrumental album then.
Like, I mean, yeah.
But I wouldn't
But-
listen to their instrumental album because I can't deal with every song having a fucking tom drum solo.
Oh man, but I mean, I really think it is an album that showcases the musicians more than anything
There were
else.
pieces of each song that I loved.
Because a buddy of mine even mentioned that he loved the album, but he hated Maynard on it. My friend Daniel, you guys have seen him on here. He said that Maynard's really phoning it in. Maynard is not stepping his game up. The band is doing really good, and I can see that. Maynard hasn't been around a lot, but it's an album that I feel, since Maynard wasn't around a lot, I think that the band members sort of knew this and were like, we're just going to give you guys a wild instrumental kind of
It
ride.
was so basic.
But that is what I just said though. With it, for a 13-year wait, I mean a lot of it is pretty basic Tool shit.
And
Um,
I don't know, like I can't see myself thoroughly. Like playing The Tempest. Honestly, I can listen to that song a lot.
and see
Like,
me,
over
I
and
can't
over.
go directly to the.
But that's the
Tempest.
style I
I
wanted.
like to listen from the very first moment. That the way the album begins with those weird noises. Like what's going on there, dude?
Right, and
Like,
that's why Fear Inoculum was
love
good.
it so much, and then like the interludes that do that shit, and then I don't know, man.
I just think a lot
I
of
just
the
love
songs-
every moment of this album. I really do.
Well, I mean, see, that's I'm the devil's advocate then.
I
because
love every
I
moment of
don't-
this album.
I can't there's certain parts like I thought Maynard shined in The Tempest because
Yeah, I think that's one of the
like
best-
that version of Maynard.
I think that one has the best Maynard performance on the whole album.
I
In
like-
fact,
yeah.
a lot of what The Tempest offers is pretty much everything Tool is good at in one big 15-minute
Right,
opus.
and I love that song because of that. That's the Tool I wanted. I wanted more of Undertow.
And I don't think you'll ever get that Tool again, though.
Right,
I think
I like
after
that
Lateralis and
more,
10,000 Days.
But of Maynard, I like
that's
that
why
more
I
stuff.
expected this one to be more.
In 10,000 Days, I would have
cerebral.
accepted a continuation of 10,000 Days because I like the pot. I like Jambi. I enjoy
the Wing.
Like Curious.
Shit or
I mean,
whatever.
I like how that album worked out really well, and I would have enjoyed shorter song, like 5 minutes, 6 minutes. If you want to go long, 7 minutes would be an okay for the longest time, except for the Tempest. Tempest could stay as long as it needs because that was such a perfect song for that album. I wish I wish they didn't end it with that fucking mocking beat. I hate that. I hate it. I hate it. I mean, I turn it off the minute the Tempest is over. I turn it off because I don't want to hear that annoying sounds. And it's not even like a cool thing. Like I don't want to try to dissect it and say, from a stoner's perspective. I don't.
See, I'm not even a stoner, and like I'm sitting here just like, man, there's like a reason this is here.
You ever listen to how you talk?
Yeah, I mean,
You talk
I was a stoner for 20 something years.
Right, so,
I'm sort of, I mean,
and I get it. I get where I obviously get where you're coming from. And like you said, it's a split album.
Yeah,
and the
people
thing
are
is,
split,
it's
man.
Literally, it's a literal split down the middle.
It is split in the middle.
If you cut off, I can tell you this, that album would have been so much better if you cut out all the build-up to each song. If you take Fear Inoculum and cut out that little build-up that it has until you hit Maynard's voice, if you just start on Maynard's voice, it still would have been an awesome song. The same goes for Numa. Well, Numa actually started okay, but it sounded like something off of 10,000 Days. Then you go into the weird French song or whatever. If you cut out the fucking beginning up until Maynard's voice, and just start, or even made a 10-second.
I think that's one of the instrumentals.
I don't know. Somebody. It's just certain things. It's just how they built up to each thing. If you just start it to where it gets like even 10 seconds before it gets good. If you start it there, right? That album would have flowed so much better. It's just my biggest problem is that it had a build up on almost every song.
Yeah, every song is a slow ass chug. It's all a big slow.
And it's not a good chug.
Oh, but it's good to me.
It's not a good chug.
I love really just sit there and soak it in. I need a cigarette. We're gonna break this up. I need a cigarette, and we're gonna come back and finish this off. All right, y'all. Now, like I took this cigarette break, I was just telling David that the first time I listened to this album, I had to take a couple cigarette breaks. There aren't a lot of albums that are over 86 minutes long. And so I listened to the first couple tracks, pause, had to take a cigarette break. Listened to another couple tracks, pause, took another cigarette break. Now, another thing about this album is, and it's sort of been this way, at least since Lateralis, this is not a drive to the store kind of album.
No,
where
this is a drive to Atlanta.
Yeah, this is a road trip. You don't listen to this in your car. Make sure you have more than an hour to spare, because it's not a car album unless you're driving somewhere far away. This is a sit down album. This is a turn on, because like I said, I listen to it every day. I listen to it a lot when I'm going to sleep. I have the little headphones in and shit, and I'm listening to it.
That's how you're supposed to listen to it.
Well, I mean, yeah, because I hear a lot more when I
sleep.
Push you to sleep. Push you to sleep. But some of the comments I've seen, like I said, people are just so split. I'm seeing a lot of arguments on like the Facebook pages posting stuff about this. One was a friend of mine on Facebook says, oh, this Tool album is bullshit, nothing but build-ups. And so what he said made me laugh so hard.
It's not me, by the way.
Yeah, it's some other guy. I don't even know his name, but he said...
yeah, you're friends.
Yeah, Facebook friend. But he says, just nothing but build-ups. Maybe the next album will have the middle and endings to these songs. And dude, I laughed so hard. I was like, you know what? There's parts of that is true. So I told him, I was like, too bad you're gonna have to wait another 13 years to get the ending of these songs.
Right.
Because here's the thing, this very well could be the last Tool album that we ever get. Could very well be.
They're old enough to know.
I mean, because we're obviously gonna get more Maynard projects before we get another Tool project.
I don't think we'll see another Perfect Circle for a while.
Yeah, probably not, because
They
he took
just came out with
took
one.
a good while. I think we're gonna see Pussifer or something else. Something
Unfortunately,
new.
I don't think. I think so. He said in an interview that before they started recording for Tool, the Tool's new album, he said that I felt that I needed to, as his words, I felt that I needed to start this album because if the fans pretty much were gonna kill me
If I did
another Pussifer album.
It was like, you better, all right, because
He
it's
won't
like,
do- I think there might be another Tool album in three years, honestly.
yeah,
I'll give it 3
it'd be
years.
nice, but
And it will be more intimate, hopefully.
it'd be nice, but we are at a moment where this could very well be the last Tool album. I mean, it took this long for this one to come out. It could be longer if another one were to come out. I mean,
But they had a lot of
there could
legal issues, though.
yeah, a lot of legal issues. Just a lot of
Last
crap went down.
Which is why I think, which is
Oh.
another reason why I think that I don't think we're gonna wait nowhere near as long for the next Tool album.
Yeah, and I would hope not, and I wouldn't mind
2 to 3 years,
a
maybe.
more Undertow or Enema style Tool album, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind another cerebral trip through chocolate chip.
I wouldn't mind a re-release of
trips.
this album with it cut, with half the songs cut out.
Well, you know, I got that video editor. We can cut that bullshit out, and I can give you your definitive
Right, and
Fear
then
Inoculum.
I will fucking play that shit on YouTube, steal it all you want, because it will be better than the regular album.
Oh.
Because you'll be like, I just listened to this in my car.
And another argument I saw on Facebook, some page had posted, boom, get the new Tool album. And one guy comments in there and says, you know, I like the album, but man, it was not worth the 13-year wait. And so this guy gets on there replying to him, talking about, what don't you like, man? The album's good. And the guy's like, well, if you want your Tool to sound like pure moods, be my guest. I fucking rolled. I was like, there is a meditation song kind of vibe to this album. Like it's a fucking hippie at the
Right
Spiral
before bedtime.
Star fucking like all your crystal hippies are gonna be fucking, dude, I'm charging my chakras while I listen to this new Tool
Right,
album, man.
and I mean, it is definitely like that's the thing though. Like it is it's not even a hipster album. It's pre-hipster, pre-millennial album, and it's the Sonny and Cher of Tool.
What?
That is how bad it is.
What? Explain.
So
Explain.
okay,
Sonny
it's
and Cher of
a
Tool.
'60s to mid '70s type of album, right? That's popular because it's Cher, Sonny and Cher. They're they're super popular at one time. They're gonna die off. Tool. I think this is their killer. I think this is what's gonna kill Tool.
I still don't understand.
All right.
Sonny and Cher.
Sonny and Cher is not a good example. Let's
It is
say
not.
it came out in the '60s.
Take for instance, are you trying to say this is like take a popular band from that era and then they dropped one album that was subpar?
Yeah.
And okay, that could be
Any album in the '70s.
that could be, you know, take Emerson, Lake and Palmer and you go from
Yeah, you're more than
Brain Salad Surgery to Love Beach.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Brain Salad Surgery is easily Emerson, Lake and Palmer's 10,000 Days or Lateralis. And then Love Beach trying to make radio hits. But at the same time, we got a 20-something minute track to please you guys. And you know,
yeah, you would know the '60s and '70s.
yeah, I mean,
I know Sonny and Cher.
but this is
I'm a loser.
Cher, Dave. Dave.
Well, this is the thing about Sonny and Cher were big in their time,
Yeah.
right?
But
And
they
then before
weren't-
Sonny died, they released one more duet thing, whatever, that did well because they were Sonny and Cher. But as an album or
But she
record
was
or
doing
whatever,
duets with Butthead before Sonny died. Like, they divorced long before he died. Cher was always still... Dude, Sonny Bono was a politician by the time he died.
What about, okay, let me think. Alright. I'm trying to think of a better example. There's better examples, I know.
There are a million better examples.
Right, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Sorta?
Okay. They waited too long.
Yeah, there you go.
It is, alright, and it's not like...
Take, for instance,
there were
Guns
plenty
N'
of bands
Roses.
who haven't
Take, for instance, Guns N' Roses,
waited
who
too long
waited
to
so
come out with
long for Chinese democracy.
And that was terrible.
And I love Chinese democracy just
Everyone
because
else
it
hates it.
sounds different than the other shit. But
It's crap.
I mean, it's not a great album, but I like it a lot. I mean, it's one that I wanted to hate because I was like everybody else. I was like, oh, it doesn't have the original guys. But when I listened to it, I was like,
But see, that's the thing.
Some good shit
This
on
album
there.
has the original guys. That's the problem. It has all the original, except for, technically, we're gonna say from '95. It has all the original guys.
yeah, from '95.
But over 20-something years of being Tool, it has all the original people, and yet this album did not. All right, 10,000 Days came out, and it pretty much impressed every Tool fan out there.
10,000 Days
It
brought
had
in a lot of
everything
new
that
fans
Tool,
too, man.
Right, it brought in new fans. All the old fans loved the album.
10,000
I know
Days
a guy,
came out
he
at a
said it was the
time-
best album, which I won't argue with him because he's a bigger Tool fan than me. But what I'm saying is, it was a fantastic album.
And another thing too is it came out. You gotta think about the music landscape for rock music in 2006. There's a lot of garbage. A lot.
There's a lot of garbage now.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
They didn't do anything to add better.
That's another reason I
They
like
added
this
to the
album.
pile.
To me, this album is much better than a lot of stuff that's happening.
The
And-
only reason this album, okay, let me put it this way. The only reason that this album is big is because of the name that's on it. If this was
And
a
that could be
random,
true.
if this was any other band name, right, that wasn't Tool, created the same exact thing, it would not be as big or as good, because Tool is the stamp that's on it. Okay, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
If
don't
it's-
totally get that.
you were a huge prog fan, right? But there's a lot of underground progs that are better than half the people that are popular nowadays.
Yeah.
Right? If you put Tool on their name, that shit would be popular as fuck.
But that's the thing, Tool, man. Like, Tool is just a different type of prog, man. Like, I love the shit out of this
Pop
album.
prog.
Just because. I mean, you could. Since
Popular.
pop isn't a genre, pop
Right.
is what's popular.
Right,
You know,
it's popular. It's
so-
popular prog music, and that's the thing, though. It's no matter what they can come out with the worst shit ever.
Now, here's the
I
thing.
can wipe my ass with some dirty ass used toilet paper and
Maynard-
put Tool on that shit.
Yeah,
and it would be
Maynard-
popular.
I can say what the Oasis guy said about dude from Radiohead. Maynard can shit in a light bulb, and people will say it's genius.
Right. That's what I'm saying. This album is overhyped,
But there is,
overrated.
I would say overrated.
It is
I would
way
say
overrated.
I would say it's right in the middle because it's what I expected and it's what I wanted, but it's not what everybody else wanted. I think everybody overhyped it, and that's what happens when you've got 13
The
years.
white man of America, a minority.
You've got 13 years and tons of fans all building up an idea of what this is going to be.
Right.
It's never going to be that amazing when you have that much build up and that many years between
And for
it.
me, I'm a Tool fan because
So I totally get why people
Yeah.
are underwhelmed and why they don't like it.
I'm not one of those 40-year-old
But me,
dads that
I never overhyped it. I was like, yeah, I was hyped because I was like, all right, I'm finally happy to get some new Tool. But I wasn't one to be like, oh man, when they come out, it's gonna be like, oh, my fucking beam's gonna shoot out.
And
I'm gonna fucking
I'm not
swim
like that
through the
either, like-
sand. I'm gonna fucking goddamn go to outer space and hang
I'm
out
saying
with energy
maybe
beings.
after the next 2 to 5 years,
It's gonna probably be a grower
it
for
will
you.
grow on you.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be a grower.
Because 10,000 Days, when when it first came out, I was, how old was I in 2006? I was
Early 20s.
Yeah, I was
Early
20 years
20s.
old in 2006. I wasn't the biggest. I wasn't a huge Tool fan. Yeah, I've heard of them. I like some songs by them. As I've gotten older, I've gotten more into Tool since then. And 10,000 Days it took 10,000 days to grow on me, basically, which is 12, 13 years. So it took 10,000 days to really grow on me and me actually enjoy 10,000 days all the way through from track to track. I don't see that happening with this album though.
I bet it might be
Because
eventually
I
an
don't
eventual
like-
grower.
I'm a total metalhead, and I like.
And this
things
is
that
definitely
punch
not
you,
like
And I like prog.
your kind of
music.
metal, you know.
Right, and I like prog metal, and I used to not be into prog. You know me for forever.
Yeah.
For like 16 years, 17 years, you've known me, and
Yes,
I've
again.
never. There wasn't a time, when we were younger, where you're like, Dave's into prog. I wasn't.
We
at
were
all.
just the metal buddies, man, back then.
Right, and I've always been a fan of Slipknot for like I said, since high school. I've been a fan of Korn since high school. I've been a fan of a lot of the metal bands nowadays. Lamb of God, All That Remains has been out since before then. I mean, Shadow's Fall. I mean, I'm a huge metalhead. So Tool has always been on the radar. As I got older, I've had to become a Tool fan. I've become a Tool fan. But this album, though, per se, has one song that I really dug, and the rest of them, I'm like, okay, moving on. Like I said, if you cut off half of each song, and it's all the build up to every song, I probably would have enjoyed this album to the T. I probably would have been like 13 years was welcome for that way, because those pieces where if they would have just shortened that build up to 10 to 15 to 30 seconds instead of 3 minutes of if they would have take that and then right, if they would have taken that down, cut it, like, you know what, it's too long. If someone would have just said, look, each song should not be a 10-minute epic. Because they're not epic.
Not each song is a 10-minute epic, because guess what? You got 3-minute interludes strewn out.
Those don't count as songs. Those count as noise, like fillers. Those are fillers.
Those are so not
and they're
filler
not
to
even
me.
good
Those
fillers.
are so not filler.
They're
to me.
fillers. Look at every album that Tool's come out with. They've always had little 30-second to a few
Like
minutes.
that cool organ grinder bit on Anima.
But those weren't fillers because for some reason, they made sense to it. Because they changed
make
things.
sense to me.
They're
though.
one
These
long
make
noise
sense
or
to me. They really do.
Mocking beat sounds like somebody recorded a mockingbird and then said, hey, we should up that pitch and see what it sounds like.
But
it says,
cool.
it's good, leave it. It's not cool.
But it's cool.
It is not cool.
It's cool to me.
It's
cool
cool.
because I like noise and I like sound manipulation.
I like sound manipulation
sound
when people
sculptures.
fuck around with synthesizers.
That's what this album
and
feels like, is one big sound sculpture. This album is just you're taking sound
Andrew
and you're
Huang is the YouTube
This is like,
guy.
look at this. This is the Jackson Pollock painting of rock music.
It's a Picasso. It's all over the fucking place.
Yeah, you're taking brushes and you're just flinging paint
and hoping
all
something
at the
good
wall.
comes out of it.
and that's what this album is. It's just one big sound sculpture. You're like, I'm gonna take this sound.
It's like a clump of, somebody's like, hey, I want to make a sculpture and a clump of dirt things on top of each other. Let's just keep adding to it.
It's like throwing a shitload of alphabet letters at the fridge
and
trying to read what it spells. You know what I'm saying?
That sounds like a song. Let's put it on.
Yeah, dude, this is the new Tool album.
And it's just too, the point is...
But I like that.
It's
I like
too much.
that. I don't know, it's not too much for me.
Every song is too much. There's too much of every song.
No, to me it's pretty perfect. To tell you the truth, it's
near
pretty
perfect.
to me. Like I enjoy every minute of this album. I really do. I don't know, it just speaks to me in the right
I guess there's albums out there that are complete and other shit that I like. I mean, I know there are shitty albums that I'm like, dude, I love that fucking album, but you probably listen to me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And this is that album.
I mean,
like,
I'm not gonna be one of those Tool fans who says like, oh, you just don't get it, or you don't it's just over your head. I'm not going to be that tool guy because I mean I totally see why people don't
You
get
fucking
it
screwjack, man.
or don't like this one. I totally see because I know where all those boring parts are you're talking about. But to me, it's like me. That's part of the experience.
I try to experience it, but that's the thing. Like, it's all right. If you go by song, then you can easily partake in saying, "I love this part."
Yeah.
In this
now,
song.
if you go by song
by song,
Mhm.
this album is okay.
But to me, it's one big song.
Or you can't see it as one big song because it's still an album with separate songs of tracks. Different tracks you can turn to the next track.
You can. But
so seeing it,
to me, it feels.
Well, then download the YouTube as when you know when they put in like the entire 85 minutes on one fucking video.
For one video.
And then you have to put the timestamps down there to click onto them to get each song. Well, that's pretty much what you think about this album.
To me, this
one
album
YouTube
feels
video.
like one big, maybe not so cohesive piece. Like, but to me, everything feels like it's one big song, and like because that's the thing. A lot of the bands that do the big 20-minute tracks, or 20-minute long songs, a lot of them nowadays they will do a 20-minute song, but they'll break them down into separate tracks.
They give you they give you parts.
Yeah, they give you
parts. This isn't parts though.
But yeah, because that's the thing. Instead of breaking it down into tracks, they just took chunks.
Fucking chunks. They're like, all right, this sounds like a good place to cut this song off, right there. But wait, let's repeat what we just did in the beginning.
Let's throw a synthesizer interlude in between these two.
Yeah. What's that annoying sound over there? I want that.
Let's get that mockingbird and let's just squeeze him in the microphone.
Let's choke that motherfucker. Let's see what sounds come out. I don't know. If it bleeds, it bleeds. You know, hey, do you hear that?
Let's just
is that a broken air conditioner I hear?
Yeah.
That's perfect. Let's put those sounds in the middle of the fucking track where they're overly powered bass.
Let's throw 3 children at a bus.
See which one lives. And that's the sound we hear in the beginning of Fear Inoculum. They fear Inoculum. As the bus is speeding off because they didn't do it.
What pan can I hit?
Right.
And find that one pan. Pew!
And then they go the thought of what's the drummer's name?
Danny Carey.
Danny Carey. All right, Danny Carey.
Which I still love. Chocolate Chip Trip.
Is in love with Jumanji.
This motherfucker said
it's the fucking Jumanji drums. Like
you listen to this album, you listen to Chocolate Chip Trip, and you're expecting rhinos to burst.
Right, I mean, like I'm expecting a dude with a big ass fucking overly exaggerated gun to come out, and he's British with fucking rain, and it's just. I mean, all right, I'm all for drums.
Where's the malkin beat?
Right, I'm all for drum solos. There are plenty of bands who throw in drum solos into their albums that are good.
But to me, it's not a drum solo.
It is
a drum song. It's not a drum solo.
It's not a drum
It's a drum song.
No.
Yeah, it's a drum song. It's a song just
with
for
drums
the
in it and some sound
and the percussion and the sound.
It's not done well though.
It's not a drum.
It's a bad
solo.
song.
If it was a drum solo, then it would be some Neil Peart shit.
Okay.
This isn't some Neil Peart.
If you
shit.
say it's a drum song, it's a bad song.
No, it is rad.
It
as
is
fuck.
awful.
It is rad as fuck.
You know why it's awful? Because he did the same thing 2 songs ago. He doesn't change his thing though. It's the same.
I mean, but that's his thing though. That's his thing.
His thing
like,
should
and
not be
it's so
constantly
tribal
repeated.
and dude, like take Chocolate Chip Trip.
I don't want
all
one
right?
long repeated
then,
songs. I want
are you
different
familiar?
music that I can.
Are you familiar with Inagata
Yeah.
All right. What? Have you ever heard the full version of that song?
Long time ago.
Like
Reason why I don't.
that song has like it feels like a 10-minute long just.
It's because it does. It's like 4 minutes of that.
Yeah, and it's like. It's
So
cool
you're
as
saying
fuck.
that this entire
It's
thing
like
is
that's
the guy
the
looking at-
acid trip shit, man. Like that's the fucking I'm in a field with hippies and I'm fucking tripping on acid and I'm just like I'm feeling the beat, man. Yeah.
This ain't 1972 though, or 69, whenever the fuck that song came out. It's not 2019, and okay. What I'm really pissed about is that we waited 13 years to get nothing different.
But it is like it's the same, but it's
not
different.
different.
Like I said,
There's
it's what I
nothing
expected.
new about. I love it when a
What I
band.
expected.
I wanted a progression of the band though.
There was a progression of the band. They said, "Oh, we can add synthesizers to this."
They have synthesizers on their older stuff.
Not as heavily as this album.
All right, so you're saying they added.
They
Let's
added
just use this more often. Yeah. It's nothing new. Like all right.
Yeah, I don't think that they're gonna do anything new. I mean, I think.
Give me something.
I mean, to me, it's new enough.
It's
new
because
enough
it's
for me.
13 years of wait. That's why it's new enough. It's new Tool. It's songs I've never heard before by Tool, by a band who has a popular stamp. Because they put their name on that toilet seat, and guess what? That toilet seat's cool now.
Dude, it's a Tool toilet seat.
Exactly. That's
Bro.
the problem, though. You can't do that with a lot of bands.
But
no matter how
but
big.
that's the other thing. That's why people are spending $200+ on this deluxe
Because the
edition.
stamp.
The stamp. When it's like, just wait. There's gonna be more. Just hold on. Just hold on a second.
We talked earlier. Slipknot's releasing 11 more songs during their touring cycle.
Yeah.
11 more songs that have nothing to do with the new album, because, and they're super popular, right? But they can release shit, and you can put their name on it, and their stamp will still never be as powerful as the Tool stamp, right? People will go, that album is shit with Slipknot.
It's those.
Korn, people can go, that album is bullshit. Marilyn Manson has done it. He's put out albums, and that album was total shit. Rob Zombie has
But people
done it.
a lot of
Tool
people
is
call.
the one band. What other band that is just as big or bigger than Tool that can put out an album that's either close to or mostly total shit? People still be in love with it because of that name.
Well, I don't love it because of the name, though. See, that's what I'm saying.
Right, but I'm saying to me, it's a lot of it's just crap.
A lot of those elitists.
I can't play it. I know that. I'm not
elitists,
I'm not that good of a musician.
like.
Good
I mean,
for you.
To me, it's. I like it because it puts me in a. I mean, my stoner is about to be showing, but it
There
puts
you go,
me
man.
in a
Good mood.
sort of trance. Like it puts me in a cool little trance where I can just like really just enjoy the minimalist approach
I want to
that
enjoy
the album
it.
has. Like, I mean, I really hate that you don't. I enjoy it because like I enjoy every single minute of it, even the long boring parts.
well, see, that's-
Like
I
I'm
have
not
to
gonna lie,
force myself
I'm not
to.
gonna lie. There are boring parts, but to me, they for some reason they fit for me. Because
Do you know why you like the boring parts just as much as you like the rest of the song?
why?
Because you were so happy that the rest of the song is so good that you don't mind the boring parts, and you feel that the boring parts kind of go with it then, because at least you made it that far.
I don't mind the long drawn out parts because I like long drawn out shit.
If it's done right, I can get to it, but I don't know.
But
It's-
to me, it was done good enough. Like I wouldn't say it was done right, but I'll say it was done good enough. It entertains me. It keeps my attention. And like I said, it puts me in this kind of cool little trance. Like I said, it's not a drive to McDonald's album. It's not a drive.
One
to
song
the
is
grocery
Drive to
store.
McDonald's.
Yeah,
You have to listen
I
to a
mean,
song. It takes a week to listen to this album if you do it by driving. Like I know because I've done it.
No, but it's like
Takes
it's
a
you have to invest time in this album. It's one of those albums where you have to plan your day around this album. That's what's going on with this album. It's one of those you can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna turn this Tool album on and just do
I've had
shit.
to travel to Atlanta since this album's come out. Right, I listened to it all the way up to Atlanta, and I really, when I'm in my car, like that's my
Because it's not an easy
my
listen.
space. It's
And not gonna lie, you feel those 86 minutes. You really fucking do. Like we were talking about the Slipknot, you don't feel that hour all that
because
much.
everything flows well.
But yeah, you feel the length of this album. But to me, it's one of those. It's rewarding to.
Because the Tempest was so good, the rest of the album doesn't matter.
but I mean, there is that big fucking opus at the end. But to me, it's like the journey there is interesting. The journey there has a lot, like peaks and valleys. Peaks and valleys. You're going up hills. You're, like I said, it's like going through a labyrinth.
Uphill battle.
It's like you're going through a labyrinth, and you're walking through different. You're in random hallways, and you open up a door, and maybe there's a random sound in there. Okay, and then you shut that door, and you might
open
skip
another door,
a
there's a
couple
random
doors.
naked lady.
Yeah, you
who's
open
old.
this door, and there's a random old naked lady. Like you said, you're like, oh, what the
Big old
fuck?
dude.
You shut the door. You're like, okay, well, let me open this door. And, you know, it's like there's
See your
just-
mother.
There's lots of things going on.
Not your wrong.
For an album that has such a minimalist approach, there's a lot going on, but it's not a ton.
Is this not attached to anything?
No.
Good.
It's
This is how I feel after the new 12. Like I've waited so long that this is how I feel. So like I just took forever to get anywhere, and I finally made it through one song.
And you're
Wait a
dead.
minute, there's 8 of these in there. I can't do it, man.
and now you're dead.
And now I'm dead. That's what I feel like with this album. It's so slow and boring. It's just. Why do you have fidget spinners, by the way?
Huh?
There's 2 fidget spinners up here.
Oh, those are actually Bluetooth speaker fidget spinners Jason had brought over here a couple months ago. That they light up. It's so stupid, but so cool. But no, to me, it's an album that is filled with moments that are, there's
Sorry.
peaks and valleys, hills and labyrinths and doors and like, I don't know, there's like, it makes me imagine things. Like when you get to the track that has the ocean in there, and I'm just, it allows me to turn my brain off and let my imagination flow, and I'm not trying to headbang. I'm not trying to. I'm just soaking it in. I'm taking it in, and I'm sort of just swimming through the music and wading in the music. I'm just kind of flowing in there. You know what I mean? I might pee a little on myself because it's a long fucking ride.
I might pee a little. There
No.
might be some sharks.
So yeah, there might be some sharks. You know, I might have lost a leg or two, but I mean.
You get the tempest, you bled out.
Yeah, you're fucking, at that point, you know, you've died and now you're just like traveling.
Yeah, when you
through
hear
the
Mocking
universe.
Beat, you're dead. I
Yeah.
mean, that is the
Yeah, there you go. You're fucking, that's
sound.
your flatline sound.
It's in flatline.
I don't know, I highly enjoy the album, dude. Like, there's so little going on and so much going on at the same time. It's real hard to explain, and it's what I expected. And in many ways, what I wanted, because I mean, I knew we're never going to get another Animal, we're never going to get another Undertow. To me, still, Lateralis is still one of my favorite albums of all time. Still, I love each album pretty much equally. I can turn on any Tool album and be like happy as fuck for that duration. Whereas other bands, I'm like, I can only listen to like these 3 albums, and I can only listen to like these 2 albums. But Tool is one of those rare bands where I can listen to each album equally and highly enjoy it. But I will say, I don't have to plan my day around Enema. I don't have to plan my listening day around Undertow or Opium.
You have to take a vacation for Inoculum.
Right, yeah. You have to invest some
You have
time.
to take a fucking vacation.
You have to invest some time. That's why, you know, I waited a week and I really listened to this every day so I can have a little more to say, because it's an album that I like more and more every time I hear it. And I mean, holy shit, it's a phenomenal
I made
listen.
it through it twice and got through half of it again for the 3rd time.
And you'll probably never listen to it again.
And if I had a choice, no. I mean, I might listen to it again because, again, I'm still a Tool fan, and like maybe in a few months I'll give it another listen Christmas time, because then I'll have time. It's Christmas. So maybe around Christmas time I'll listen to this again, and maybe I'll have a different perspective. But
maybe 2 years from now, like you know,
right,
listen to it
I'll
for like
grow
2 years and
older.
turn it
My
on and be
ears
like,
have
you know
gotten
what?
longer. My hair's gotten less. I'll look like you a little bit.
Because
more.
this is your first, this is your first opinion. Like we said, our opinions change over time with music, and
on certain things.
on certain things. Yeah, I guarantee you'll probably like it a little more down the line. You probably won't love it, but you'll probably like it a little more down the line. Guarantee it.
Yeah.
Guarantee it.
Are we gonna do the ratings on this? As you
Yeah,
just
we're
said?
gonna do the.
I like them all the same.
I mean, yeah, let's
suck
do
in all
the ratings because I mean, like, I throw tens around a lot on this channel. To me, if I can listen to an album all the way through,
Without struggle.
well, yeah, without struggle, without skipping a track, if I can listen to it all the way through and enjoy it and remember everything, that to me is a 10. But what is your rating? I haven't given my rating out yet. What is your rating? I'm actually.
I can't. Like, I have a hard time rating this entire album as a whole
Yeah.
because, like you said, 8 different songs, or 8 different songs. I hate as an entire album. To me, it's a 6.
Nah, that's too bad.
Now, if
That's
we
above average at
it's
least.
6 because again the tool stand. But I can't see myself giving it less than 5 because
It's better than that.
it's better than a 5.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's a 6 is because for me it's not that songs are bad
It just
because
didn't
they're
match
played
your-
well. They're played well. The musicianship's a 9, right? I would say production's
so
a 9. Maynard's voice for me was about an 8.
Yeah.
Each song in particular, to me, I would have to rank differently because of that, and that's the average would be a 6, because The Tempest is a 10. That's a fucking phenomenal song, right? From beginning to end, that's exactly what I wanted out of. I wish the entire album. Unfortunately, I didn't get that, and I love Letter Alice myself, and I love Parabola and all the trippy fucking songs that are on there.
Even the one that uses that old Art Bell Coast to Coast clip
Right.
of the guy talking about these aliens, man.
Carrots in the
they're-
fucking field.
These aliens they're just
Right,
they're
and I
interdimensional beings.
love Ladder Alice as an album, but for this one,
Carrots
for
in
me,
the Field was on Undertow.
was it on that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let the
That
rabbits
one
eat
was fucking.
lettuce.
And I like trippy stuff. I enjoy experimentation, but to me, because every fucking
Life
song,
feeds
it
on
wasn't
life.
an experiment. It was just, hey, we waited 13 years. Let's just give them some songs, and hopefully, they sound right. The flow was off to me, and when you even, as you say, it's an uphill battle. It's peaks and dips and dives, and I felt like dodgeball. The 5 Ds. Dodge, dip, dive, dodge, or whatever the fuck it is. I don't like. I want a full album that I can flow with, that I can listen to all the way through, that I can skip a track and know that I'm going to like that next track, or a couple tracks down. I only like 2 or 3 songs on this album,
So you have
and it's
to
not
wait.
all of each song.
You have to wait to get to like your favorite parts.
Right, and I don't like. Call me impatient. I mean, even if it's a good build-up, a good 2 or 3 minute build-up to it, and it doesn't bore the shit out of me, right? And it takes it every song, almost, which is sad. It takes 2 to 3 minutes for me to be like, all right, now I can kind of listen. I mean, I don't want to hear drums. I don't want to hear like two minutes of fucking bongos, for a different. Oh, look, he threw it at a different timestamp.
Oh, he hit a splash at this point.
There's a little symbol splash. I don't want that.
China symbol, dude.
If
he
you're
did
gonna
the
build
China.
up, give me a reason for that build up. Give me a little bit of fucking Maynard Keening doing hymns in the background. Oh, some shit like that. I mean, I don't know how to
you know
put
what? That
give
would have
me
been kind of cool.
something.
That would have been
You
kind
know,
of cool. Have
to
Maynard
listen,
do some
to
vocalizing
really
back
listen
there.
to. Like,
Get some throat singing in there. Some throat singing would have been awesome.
Wah, wah. Give me a
On
fucking
that tribal
didgeridoo.
shit, yeah.
I'll take a fucking didgeridoo. Give me a fucking. I mean, Korn has bagpipes.
Right?
Why can't I get a fucking didgeridoo? Nobody uses it anymore, and no one. I mean, it's a fucking fantastic thing to fill in sound.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what. If you gave me a fucking song with a didgeridoo and a drum set, I would have probably liked that more than the fucking chocolate nut cracks. Okay, it's the fault in this album is because it's too boring. It has good parts to every song, fucking phenomenal parts to every song. There's just too long of a time to get to those phenomenal parts. I like Invincible because the lyrics and Maynard's voice in that song are very well done. The music itself is very well done. It takes a minute to get into it.
Yeah, it doesn't take, that one doesn't have big builds.
No, it doesn't.
Long,
I like
long
Descending,
droves.
right? Descending had an okay build up to a fucking phenomenal 3 to 4 minutes of the end of the song. They had an awesome. I think that was the guitar part where he doubled his chords up.
Yeah, yeah. There was.
I loved that. I was like, man, that is the coolest fucking shit. Like that's what I wanted. I wanted this. Like I don't want just like one 30-second part where this guitar comes in. Right. I don't want. You know, I want little cool things here, like more often. And that was my biggest issue with this entire album up until Tempest. Like I said, Tempest. Can't go wrong. A+. You know, 10 out of 10 on that song. So, but anything prior to that, it's just like I don't remember any of it. I remember certain little things that I heard that I remember on that song. I remember the fucking toms because they were so annoying because that's all I heard in fucking half the song. I remember the fucking guitar part of Descending because I loved how cool it sounded. I love when people do like chords when they double over themselves. Because I like to hear, I'll just love that kind of thing. You know, I've heard Maynard do how he does singing without words. You know, like I was saying, he just kind of goes with it. Do something. Put something in the song to fill in. Don't give me just like, there's one song on Undertow, I think, where it starts off with the but it doesn't last for 45 seconds or 2 minutes long. They bring in more stuff. You add to it. You build on top of it. You want a good build up to a good song. You build upon something every few seconds. You don't stay with a certain sound. And every song did that. They didn't.
But that's that minimalist approach.
Too minimalist. There is a certain point where you can go and just, yeah, man, I want to listen to everything and all the words and the wind and the birds and the sea. There's a point, but you are a rock band for one, and a rock band. You are not rocking anything except a rocking chair. That's all you're fucking doing, and that is my biggest
Your grandfather resting his eyes.
Right, and I don't want that out of a rock band, especially someone as big and as amazing as Tool. Okay, Tool is a name brand. It is one of the largest bands in the last 30 years. Okay,
one of the biggest bands in rock music.
30 years, and they're just throughout this. It's just, hey, 13 years of shit. We have some good riffs. Let's put those towards the end. At least they'll enjoy the ending. Right? It's like reading a book and forcing yourself to get to the middle of the book just so you can hopefully that the person dies in the end because you hate them so much for waiting that long to do anything cool. That is my summarization. 6 out of 10. Mr. 10 out of 10.
Well, I'm not gonna give it a 10. Like I'm gonna say, the album can be boring, and I can see how. Yeah, it's been 13 years, and it's some pretty basic shit. But for some reason, I enjoy the minimalist approach, and it's not because it's Tool. It's not because of the name. It's because I love the band, and I like hearing what they can do. To me, they've done better, but this is still interesting. This is there's enough on here that entertains me. It still holds my interest. I mean, you know, I've listened to it every day since it came out so far, and I'm still going to be jamming it. But like I said, I mean, it's a slow ass build, but I don't mind that. I do have to physically plan when I'm gonna turn this on. I do have to set things up and get my mind in a certain point to be like, all right, I'm about to. I mean, listening to this album is almost like getting ready to smoke a joint when you got kids at the house. You have to.
Planning to have kids. That's
You got to
You're
have.
a little worried.
You gotta have. You gotta have everything right. It's almost like taking some mushrooms. You gotta have everything around you that you want to look at. Your hairbrushes, your coins, whatever you think you might be
Friends
wanting
that
to
are
look
around
at.
you.
You gotta just make everything's gotta be right. This is an album that isn't a drive around album. It's not a radio album, and it's very minimalist. There's not a lot going on. The riffs do go forever. It's a very big slow build, but the builds have pretty good ass payoffs, really phenomenal payoffs. And but like you said, I mean, I see where it gets boring, and I see how it feels like a damn. We waited 13 years for this, because it is pretty basic shit, and like it's not adding so many layers. There's not a whole lot of overdubs to this album. But that's the thing I kind of do like about it. Like I said, it makes it easy to pick out the drum parts and only listen to the drum parts. It makes it easy to pick out the bass parts and only listen to the bass parts, or only listen to the vocal parts and only the guitar parts, or you can listen to it all together pretty phenomenally because it's mixed incredibly well. Now, as far as the mixing, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
The production, 10 out of 10. The musicianship, 10 out of 10. The vocals, 8. Like you said, 8. 'Cause to me, Maynard could have done a little more here. The lyrics are fine, but
You don't understand them, but they're fine.
but yeah, like he I don't want to say he's phoning it in, but
I don't think he phoned it in. Like I said, lyrically wise, I get where he's coming from.
he's just there, but he's not doing. Everyone else is playing to the best of their abilities. I don't think Maynard's all here because
He should have done everything.
he's always doing this other stuff. I almost feel like he didn't want to make this album anyway. I feel like the band kind of pestered him.
Shoot, I think the fans pestered him. into
That
it.
too, man. I mean, like I said, this might be the last thing for real. Maynard, I don't feel like his whole soul is in on this like it was before, because he's not doing much at all. He's doing standard Maynard shit, and
How do you need his?
huh?
He said your soul is in it, so why do you need his?
I mean, for real, like it's just standard Maynard shit, but really though, it's standard everybody shit. The whole album is standard everybody shit because everybody's doing what they do. But Maynard to me is not pushing it as hard. Like you said, during the long jammy parts, Maynard could be doing something. Because what's he gonna be doing on stage during these fucking 6-minute fucking jams, right? What's he gonna be doing?
He's doing the fucking dance moves from
fucking just hippie dancing, right? What's he gonna be fucking doing? Like
doing the monkey dance.
he should have been vocalizing or something.
He's gonna step out for water.
Yeah, he's gonna go backstage, play with his phone, go drink some of his wine. But it's one of those where, yeah, the production is so pristine. Like, everything sounds so good on this album. And I enjoy the build-ups. I enjoy all that. To me, the album's a 9. It's a pretty fucking...
You described... What's funny is, okay, please, people in the comments, to me, what I'm listening to is you describing a 6 or 7 album and then giving it a 9.
No.
It's standard. Standard is not amazing. It's not fantastic. It's not great. It's not a 9. It's standard. Standard album is a 6. Maynard's doing standard. The band's doing standard. You use standard as the standard.
I said standard as in, like, fucking...
A 9's high, though.
A 9
the
is
production's
high.
good. That means the producer was a good producer.
But it's like I said,
sound is good.
the
It means
album-
the mixer is a good mixer.
the album I could listen to all the way through, fully entertained, loving every minute of it. Even though
Standard.
it's, but I like the minimalist nature of it. I like that it's fairly standard. But what I'm saying is the band is playing to the best of their abilities. It might be basic shit, but I kind of like the fact that it's basic shit. Maynard, to me, is the standard. He's just doing Maynard
If I
shit.
cut out Maynard, it's still a 7.
Like, Maynard is just doing Maynard shit. He could have stepped up his game some more, because everyone else is playing to the best of their abilities. And that's what I was saying. Is I'm not saying, oh, it's just standard fucking Tool. Maynard is just being standard, but like, it's basic Tool shit. It's what I expected. It's what I wanted.
But not a 9, because you even stated that, yeah, half the album is boring. And I'm
But
not
it's
saying
not
half
boring
of the
to me,
songs.
though. It's
half.
not boring to me. I can see how it could be boring to anyone else, but it's not boring to me. I like those long build-ups.
It's a hard 9.
It's a hard fucking 9, but I'm sticking to that rating because I like the long builds. I like the I just love the shit out of this album, like every minute of it. I don't get bored because I don't know. I just, it puts me in a place where I like to be. It's a soothing album. It's a chill album. It's a heavy album. It's a soft album. Like, there's a lot going on for it to be as minimalist as it is. Like, I highly enjoy it. It's not a standard album by any means, but it's basic Tool shit. If that makes any sense at all. It probably doesn't. But to me, somewhere up there,
In the mind flow, man.
it fucking makes
fucking
sense.
makes sense.
Like, I love the shit out of this album. And top 5 of the year. Guarantee it. Top 5 of the year.
Got
Somewhere in
it. I
that
mean,
top
number 1.
I don't know about number 1.
Oh, top 3.
Top 5 for real, man, for me. Right now. Because I already know what number 1 probably is.
I have to go through a few albums to find my top 5. The Tool's not on it.
And I figured though. I
Tool
figured
did
that.
not
But
make
it's
my top 5.
top
Maybe
5
top
for me.
10. But that's because I don't listen to pop music and that was released.
like, oh man, I need something to fit the number 10 spot. Fucking put Tool there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think I'll be here for that top 5. I'll come up with a top 5 list, but Tool ain't in it. I'll tell you that now.
You know, top 10 list for real at the end, but that Tool album, unless I hear something else amazing by the end of the year, might be up 6, might go up 7.
Have to find out what albums are coming out.
It's still a phenomenal album to me. Definitely worth checking out. It's got people split down the middle. We've talked about a lot of shit here. We've talked a lot of shit. We've talked about a lot of shit. But we're part of that divide. Like I'm fully about this album, but I'm not about this album because it's Tool. You know, it's just because I enjoy it.
I thought you were about to say, I'm about this album, but I'm not about this album, but I'm about this album.
Like, I'm not one of those elites that like, oh man, I like anything Tool does. Like, I mean, I like Tool. I like this album. Like, I'm not fucking, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. It's not the greatest thing ever.
No.
Because, like I said, there's already an album in my head that I have an idea that might be number 1, and it's not this album. Like I said, if anything, this will probably be number 5, if it's in the top 5. So, I mean, right now I feel it's in the top 5.
So
But,
go back and re-listen to a lot of these albums.
but like, I mean, really though, I highly enjoy it. It's, to me, it was worth the wait.
Yeah, no. No, I
To me, it was worth
think
the
it
wait.
could have been a lot better.
I'm happy with it.
Oh. We're going to leave you that contemplation of the mind.
So what do you guys think about the new Tool album? Am I fucking stupid? Am I just being a little too easy on it? Is David just being an asshole? Does he not get it? you know, like, tell us what do you guys think about it? Because I mean, there are so many hard opinions. On this
Believe
album.
it or not.
there are so many hard opinions on this album, and I'm not mad at the people who hate it, and I'm not mad at the people who blindly love it. Like, there are reasons I love this album, and there are reasons he doesn't like it.
Reasons I like someone.
Yeah, there's reasons you like it, reasons you don't. But I mean, if I had any complaints, it would be similar, because I mean, I see where all those complaints are coming from. I definitely do, because you feel the length. But like, I mean, I find ways to. I mean, I guess I tolerate shit a little easier, you know.
It shouldn't be like, I don't know. To me, like, it shouldn't be in that something. A good album, a 9, should not be something you tolerate.
Well, that is a true way to look at that. But I mean, I'm not saying that I'm tolerating the album, but I mean, I am. I tolerate things easier.
You're the most confusing person.
Yeah, I mean,
this album's so bad and so good, it's confusing.
Because I mean, I'm just like you said. You might be impatient. I'm just a very patient person.
I mean, I'm super patient. I mean, with certain things, it's just to a point. I mean, you're like, I don't know. I see where you're coming from, what you like about it. But when you say the things you don't like about it, and then you're like, tolerant. I'm still gonna give it a 9 though. But I hate all of this, and I see where you're coming from. It's boring as fuck, but it's a 9. You just said it was boring. Yeah, but I don't think it's boring. But it's boring as fuck.
I didn't say it was boring. I said I can see how it's boring. That is there. It can be boring if you let it be boring. But me, I'm sitting there.
I try not to let it be boring.
I'm sitting there. I'm going.
You, man.
Let me pull this little splash noise out of here. Let me pull this pew noise out of here. Let me pull this.
Turn off mocking me, please. Just why? Why end it with that? It's not even a cool ending. It's not. I mean,
it ends the album on a weird note. It really does.
It ends it on it's a terrible high note. That's the problem. It's a terrible.
But the album begins on a weird high note.
But at least it's part of a song.
It's like in a movie when they click the camera and you get that annoying camera sound.
From the 80s?
Well, like
you're the one that feeds out the picture. They have to whip that shit.
They do that shit in all the any trailer for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You get that noise in there. Well, they did it in the 2003 version too. Because
it was about the 70s and 80s. It was based.
But I mean, like, yeah, the album begins on a crazy high note.
It's not. I mean, it's just. I don't know. Maybe, like I said, maybe you just have to cut up the note and do it like, make it your own, man. And again, it's another thing about layout. The layout's terrible. Other than the ending on Tempest.
Really, I enjoy the layout. The layout is cool to me. Like, that's all this is
go back and forth.
Yeah, just the back and forth.
So we need to end it before we get they're gonna I watched them bitch about the same thing for 4 hours.
So, just tell us what you guys think.
Hit the like button or dislike.
Yeah.
Please.
Who knows what we're gonna get? But I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed half.
You enjoyed half. And
like, cut down the middle of each song.
So now that we are obviously going to be called the worst Tool fans on the internet now.
No.
Because people are going to call me a blind following motherfucker, and they're going to say you're being too harsh on it. Like, we are the worst Tool fans right now. Guarantee you it's going to be in there. We will be back next time with the worst Korn fans on the internet. We have
the Korn album's coming out next Friday.
And I guarantee you I'm not going to probably like it as much as I like this Tool album.
I probably will like it better than this Tool album. Now, that depends too. I mean, I've heard 2 songs. Well, I've heard 3 songs from it. I've loved 2 out of those 3. I like the new one. And the rest of them, I've heard that it's like Paradigm Shift, which worries me. Because
Paradigm Shift is garbage.
I don't hate the Paradigm Shift. I don't think it's garbage. I just don't remember any of it. Even I just listened to it.
Well, that's why it's
yesterday,
garbage. I mean,
and
you
I'm
can't
like,
remember it.
well, no, garbage is stuff you don't want to listen to at all. I physically turned it on and listened to it without having to.
See, I would rather an album. I would.
We should talk about this off camera. By the way, we're not talking about tool
I
anymore.
I would rather an album piss me off and suck and give me something to say, whether it's good or bad, than me not remember it every time I hear it. If I have nothing to say about an album, whether it's good or bad, that album has done worse than anything.
There were worse albums before.
So, but yeah, there are.
You threw two of them in a toilet. So.
Yeah, there are worse albums, but if I can't remember anything, that album's pretty shitty too.
Yeah,
because
well,
I'd rather
I'm hoping-
remember the bad parts because I can be like, oh yeah.
You've
At least
heard
this
one song
part's
from
cool.
it, so and it's memorable.
What, the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I dug it.
So.
But if it's something like Paradigm Shift or that Untitled, you know, I don't hardly remember nothing off of those. Well, Paradigm Shift, I don't remember anything, but at least on Untitled, I remember the single. I'm coming undone. I'm done now.
Yeah, those were done.
Garbage shit. But at least I remember. So
I think that was on the album before that, though. I don't.
No, the one before it has that. Are you
Transistor.
Yeah,
Twisted
Transistor.
We're listening to dubstep.
Yeah. Okay. But see you guys later.
Hit us in the comments.